Okay, so before I actually get started with this video about the Silurians, I just thought I'd like to share with you a quick video of me feeding an elephant because this is my YouTube channel and I can do what I want with it. So for those of you that don't know, the Silurians are creatures from Doctor Who. The concept of them is that they're a race of reptiles that inhabited the Earth many millions of years ago, playing a similar role that humans do now. But the science around them is a little jumbled, and I thought I'd like to make a video that helps to clear that up a bit. Now don't get me wrong, this isn't because I dislike the Silurians. I really do like them, and I think that all of their stories are fantastic. Well, okay, maybe not all of them, but most of them are excellent stories, and the Silurians are a fantastic and intriguing concept that can be used for science fiction, and I just think there should be more clarity with them. So I think we should start with when they come from. Okay, so first of all there's the name Silurian as evidence for when they came from. Now that would suggest that they're at least 416 million years old, but at another point the 11th Doctor suggested that they were at least 300 million years old. Now both of these ages are far too old for large intelligent reptiles to be around, since it was only during the Carboniferous, around 300 million years ago, that the first lizard-like reptiles evolved, like Petrolacosaurus. It's also commonly mentioned that the Silurians come from a time called the Eocene. Now this is a time that was during the Cenozoic, and it came shortly after the demise of the dinosaurs. Now while this is still technically believable for a bunch of large reptiles about the size of humans, it's not quite in tandem with some other things, like when they appeared with dinosaurs in 3 stories. That would be the Silurians, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, and Deep Breath. And it's here that it's claimed that the Silurians are 65 million years old. So they'd come from the late Cretaceous, which is probably the most realistic time for them, meaning that the Silurians are probably a type of bipedal dinosaur. And it's this little bit of clarity which is something we can probably thank Stephen Moffat for. Now the Silurians, they're very interesting in terms of their biology. For example, in the classic series, some Silurians have a third eye in the middle of their forehead. Now it's interesting how this doesn't just function as an eye like with most animals. It can also be used as a sort of high energy weapon that can disable their enemies. So I would say that these groups of Silurians with the third eye, that's probably all down to some sort of highly advanced genetic engineering. It's also with this sort of genetic engineering that we can get the sea devils, which are part of the Silurian race, but they're, as the name suggests, very aquatic, and they have a sort of gill structure similar to that you'd get in some amphibians. The taxonomic ranking, however, does get quite complicated. Yes, as I've said earlier, they're probably some sort of bipedal, maybe theropod dinosaur that's unknown to paleontology, but they're given the scientific name Homo reptilia, which isn't going to be scientifically valid, because modern humans have the name Homo sapiens, and as do our extinct cousins Homo neanderthalensis, Homo heidelbergensis and Homo habilis. Now the reason this doesn't work is because the Silurians are far too remotely related to be given the name Homo. You see, you can't have 2 genera or species with the same name. That's why the Latin name for the duck-billed platypus is Ornithorhynchus, because when it was first discovered, it was proposed to be platypus. But you see, there's already a family of flat-footed beetles called platypus, and that's why platypus had to be renamed to Ornithorhynchus. Now I think, according to my notes, that's everything that should be covered, apart from one thing, it seems. Reptile breasts.